Hello folks, I'm PK and I'm back here to talk about World Cup 2018 that is taking place in Russia. And today I'm going to talk about definitions in Group A, as we had the match, three matches that ended up actually the same score, 1-0, the three matches. They had like this very small score. First match I'm going to talk about is Uruguay playing against Saudi Arabia, which would define Group A. If we knew that Uruguay would win, they would qualify for the second round, as Russia has already beat Egypt yesterday and got pretty close to the qualification depending on that match. For the Saudi Arabians, their rehab from the match, like they got destroyed. They got crashed by the Russians by 5-0, so honor was at the stake for the Saudis. And the match started. Uruguay took the lead, started putting pressure. They used the midfielders Carlos Sanchez and Christian Rodriguez, which produced better soccer. We saw a very slow midfield from Uruguay in the last match. This time a little bit faster, and they put a lot of pressure against the Saudis, which have a very weak defense. They don't have a good goalie. Actually, they have a very weak goalie as well, an awful goalie. And Luisito scored the first goal, putting Uruguayans on the lead. And I think that was it. Uruguayans settled for a small victory, knowing that they would qualify if they had won. Did not matter the score. They knew they would not be able to score 5 goals against the Saudis. So they kind of settled for that. On the other hand, the Saudi Arabian moved the ball around, and they wanted to avoid an elastic loss, so they were kind of okay with the 1-0 for Uruguay as well. They knew that it could not hurt the very strong defense that Uruguay has with Godin and Jimenez. So the match settled for that 1-0 Uruguay. It went all the way through the whole match. It's kind of a boring match, but Uruguay with that victory achieved the second place in the group. At least they're going to play the match against Russia the next time, going for the first place. If they defeat Russia, which I don't think it's going to happen. Russia has produced better soccer than Uruguay, and they have more goals average, so I think they're ahead of Uruguay, and I think they will probably qualify as the first on that group. On the other hand, Egypt and Saudi Arabia are going to play a friendly match on the third and last match. Both teams are out of the cup. On Group B, Portugal played Morocco, and it was a kind of a death or life situation for Morocco that had lost to Iran in a very tough battle in the last match. Portugal, however, had tied with Spain, which was unexpected. It was a satisfying result for Portugal. And so it was a life and death situation for Morocco that needed at least to tie the match. Portuguese took the lead. Cristiano Ronaldo, at the 4th minute during the match, scoring a goal with a headshot, jumping to score. By the way, Ronaldo has made so far a phenomenal World Cup, contrary to what happened in the previous 2 World Cups. This time he's playing phenomenal soccer. Morocco, however, did not surrender. They started playing really well throughout the match. They have a very strong team, as we know. It's the foreign legion with 17 players that were not born in Morocco. Started playing very well. Amrabat played phenomenally well, really giving a lot of work on the right side to Guerrero, always beating Guerrero on that and making crosses and make plays for the Moroccan team. The first half ended at 1-0. They came back, and then Morocco started really putting a lot of pressure. Rui Patricio made a phenomenal save for Portugal that could have been a draw if he had not saved that ball. As far as the Portuguese attack, it was always stopped in the very poor soccer that had been played by Gonçalo, who's just not producing much for the Portuguese forward line. We even got to say that this player, people are already making jokes that he's Ronaldo Cristiano, because he's the opposite of Cristiano Ronaldo, because he's not doing anything well for the Portuguese attack. The match ended up 1-0. Now, Portugal reached 4 points, and they're pretty close to the qualification. And for Morocco, good team, strong team, lost 2 matches by 1-0, had really bad luck in this World Cup, and they're out of the competition. And the other match, Spain played against Iran. Iran had beat the Moroccans with the last team, so they came up with 3 points. So a draw would be an excellent result for them. And for Spain needed to win, considering that they had tied against the Portuguese team the last match. It was kind of a coach duo between Queiroz and Hierro. And I think Queiroz is a serious candidate to be the best soccer coach in this World Cup. He kind of really organized his team very well, and this time he prepared the team to reach a draw, play very defensive with 4 midfielders helping the defense. And the Spanish team that has a very offensive team, a very skillful team that move the ball so well. They have fantastic technique with Iniesta, Isco, and David Silva, but they could not produce anything very dangerous, any serious attacks for the Spanish squad. Iran held their own, and the match, the first 45 minutes went as a draw, 0-0. They came back for the second round, and the second half, and the same thing, like Spain moving the ball around. They could not penetrate the defense of Iran. We actually almost score a goal, like at 7 minutes with Ansadifar took a shot that was very close. It could give the Iran the lead of the match. Right after that, fantastic play by Iniesta that put Diego Costa in front of the goal. The ball hit his knee or something like that, and that gave Spain the only goal of the match. Spain won the match by 1-0. But Iran is going to play Portugal, and I predict that that's going to be a tough match for the Portuguese. They're still fighting for the spot. Actually, the three teams are still fighting for the spot. Morocco is out of the competition. They got 0 points, and they're going to play Spain on the last match. So I still see that a lot of at stake in this group. I don't know if Portugal can beat Iran. They're going to depend a lot on how Cristiano Ronaldo will handle that match. Today, France and Peru play another. It's going to be another test for the French team that has a very skillful team that plays forward. But this time, they're going to play Peru that also has kind of a similar profile. They play, they move the ball around. They have very skillful midfielders with Tapia, Flores, Cuevas, and Newton. Kind of similar way that France plays. France has a lot of skills, a lot of quality with Pogba and Kanté and Griezmann and Mbappe up front. So I predict a very open game, a game that anything can happen. The French has a little bit better, a little bit more quality on the team, and I think the French probably will prevail this team. But for Peru cannot have another loss, so they're probably going to try very hard to win that match. For the other match, Denmark will play Australia, and the Aussies had lost to France last time, and Denmark comes with a win. It's going to be a very even battle. Both teams are pretty much the same. Denmark has better players, Eriksson, Delaney, and Sisto up front in the midfield. Australia has Aaron Moy that played a fantastic match against France. And both teams have very good goalies, strong defense. So I predict that this is probably going to be a tie in the match. If that happens, Australia is still going to be alive. And the Danish team is going to have 4 points, going to be very close to qualify for the next round. Finally, the last match is going to be played against Argentina and Croatia. It's going to be skills and techniques against tradition. The Croatian team is a better team. They have Modric and Rakitic, who are better players, and they play in the midfield. Argentina has Messi, and they depend solely on Messi. The Argentina team does not have a very strong, very quality team. So it's going to be a battle. If Argentina loses the match, it's pretty much close to be the end for them this World Cup. If we have a tie, then both teams still have a chance to qualify, as Croatia has crashed Nigeria on the last match. So it's going to depend on how the other teams will play on the next round. So these are my comments for today. I'll see you next time.